Hello everybody, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Now I want to ask, what's the first thing that you think of when you see this? If you're anything like me, you probably saw a picture of this axe and thought, damn, that thing looks cool, and damn, that thing looks scary. And then you looked at the price tag and thought, holy crap. So you sat on it for a couple years and then finally decided to pull the trigger. Well, this is the Winkler Rnd axe, and I've owned it for a couple years now, so I'm going to let you know if it really lives up to the hype. So Winkler Knives is an American company founded by Daniel Winkler, who is a mastersmith. I believe he got his mastersmith in the 70s, and I think he started this company in the 90s or early 2000s when some special forces in America contacted him about making axes. So he started making axes for them and then realized there was a market for it and set up sort of a semi-custom production facility to make this axe and others for military personnel or anyone who wanted to buy his product, and was able to give them a better price than his full custom work. Still quite expensive, but definitely better than buying a full custom knife. As a knife maker, I know how much a custom knife costs. And Daniel Winkler's work is something that has inspired me for a very, very long time. So how does this axe stand up? Obviously, it is gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. The first time I saw it, I knew I wanted it immediately. The shape, spike, everything looks beautiful, and it looks effective. So how does it stand up in the real world? Now that I've had it a couple of years, I can tell you, it is both good and bad. It's kind of what you would expect once you really look at this and think about it for a long time. Clearly, this axe is designed as a fighting tool. There's really nothing else that says this is a utility tool in the design. This is designed for fighting. And I think in that role, obviously I don't know, it would be very effective. It weighs, I believe it's 1 pound 8 ounces, which is quite wieldable. In the hand it feels fast, although it could be a little bit lighter. Every grip feels comfortable and feels fast in the hand. You're able to get it out where you need, and I'm sure whatever fighting style you've trained in, it easily adapts. At least for me, my primary fighting style has been Krav Maga. I've also done Jiu-Jitsu, which doesn't really deal with weapons so much. Neither does Krav Maga, really. But I'm able to adapt techniques that I know quite easily to this axe in practicing and sparring. Well, not sparring, because I don't have a trainer, but in using it on a tree or an archery target and stuff like that, and practicing. It is effective and it is quick in the hand. Every grip feels good. From up here, for boxing type attacks, feels good. The middle grip is very fast, and this one definitely reaches out and puts it where you need it to be. So if you were to block and then come in and hook, you can do stuff like that. Very effective, very fast fighting axe. Serves that role very well. To tell you the truth, I'm actually not a fan of most axes that have a full tang like this. And I'm going to tell you why later in the review, but overall I typically find them unbalanced. I have to say this axe has the best balance of any full tang axe that I have ever handled. And I think that's because the handle is both tapered and skeletonized, which is something that's only really possible to get in a semi-custom fashion like Winkler Knives. I believe he does it on most of his axes and quite a few of his knives. And it really does improve the balance and the weight and make it feel how an axe should feel. When I first got this axe, I wasn't really happy with the edge geometry. As you can see, I have resharpened this to make it more of a standard axe shape. It's still a little bit of a thick edge. I wanted that durability, but I kind of reprofiled it a bit to give it a bit more of a traditional axe shape. that's kind of a personal preference, and the way I'm using it, honestly, mostly as a utility tool, and kind of just bought it because it looks cool and had the money at the time. And it serves better in my role now that it's been resharpened. But I think that in the typical role that, I mean, this is marketed as a soldier's backup weapon or utility axe. Not so much this one in the utility, but Winkler does offer models that are better for utility. And I think that in a soldier's role, where you're going to be beating down doors and hitting things that might not be nice, clean wood, the original edge probably would have been exactly what you wanted. In my use, I wanted to reprofile it, so I can't really fault Winkler knives for the edge that they sent on this axe. It was sharp, it was just very obtuse, which might be what you need. And I think for most people who are seriously going to consider buying and using this axe, it is what they need. Also, once I first got it, I was very happy with the sheath. As you can see, the sheath is Kydex, and it is ambidextrous. All you need to do is flip this cord around. It's a really effective and simple carrying system. It clips to your belt, it clips to your bag, it clips to any thing that you want to clip it to. All you do is hook the spike in, push up, and then wrap the cord around, and it is locked in place. It's not going to come out. It moves nicely on your hip. You can sit in a car, you can stand, it gets out of the way when you need it. It doesn't seem to have any issues. Comes out very quick, and because it's felt lined, it is very silent, which if you're a soldier, maybe you need it silent. Most of the time, most people don't. I'm very happy with the sheath. As I said, in use, after I started using it, my initial impressions were, as a weapon, it is very effective. It feels good in my hand. But most of the time, whether you're a soldier or a regular person, most of the time, probably honestly all the time, you're not going to be fighting with this thing. Most people don't get in axe fights every day, even soldiers. So it better be able to do some utility work too. And I have to say, this axe is not designed for utility work. Like I said, they do offer models that are better suited for utility work, and I think I would lean toward those. Because once I started doing splitting, and this is a problem that every full-tang axe will have, the handle is wider than the axe head, which presents a problem when splitting, because if the wood comes and splits, it comes like this and it hits the handle. And I did have the handle crack on me. If you get in close, you can see, I'll come up closer here. You can see a slight crack in the handle. Now that crack was caused probably by multiple factors. Kind of technically misuse of the product. I mean, it's not designed for that. It's not designed for utility use. But when you're paying that much money, I think you should be able to do it. Also, I chose the wood handle, which is beautiful, absolutely stunning, but maple is not the most durable wood. Anyone who works with wood will tell you that. It's kind of soft, and on a tool, it's probably not what you want. But I think the two main factors that contributed to that crack were that originally this axe actually came with, I'm not sure what the material was, to me it seemed like a plastic pin. So the pins actually snapped when I hit that wood and it came up, and it split the handle off right here down this line. And the foam glue that was used, it was an expanded foam glue, wasn't able to stop that. So I'm sure if I would have sent that in, Winkler would have took care of it or gave me a new one. I chose not to, because if I sent it in and got a new one, I would have the exact same thing, and the exact same thing would happen again the second I tried to split wood. What I decided to do is attempt to fix it. So I filled the void, I dug out all the foam glue in that void with epoxy, and filled it with epoxy. And then I replaced all the pins with copper, that way the pins would not crack. So now the only thing that's able to crack on this axe is the wood. itself, which has not happened since, and I have used it lots since. As you can tell, there's quite a bit of wear on this axe. It's got dents all over it. It's definitely been on quite a few camping trips. And since I've done that, it has served very well in a utility fashion. I don't know why the glue he used and the pins he used weren't metal and epoxy to begin with. That's one thing that I would recommend them changing if they see this video and feel like it. Maybe I'm wrong in their opinion, but I think that would make this a much better tool because it makes it more durable. And yeah, since I've done that, it has served very, very well. It splits well, it chops well, it throws well, and I haven't really had any issues with it. And lots of people are gonna say that this spike is the reason that this one is not a utility tool. And to be honest, I think the handle is a lot bigger of an issue in utility use than this front spike. I never noticed much issues with this front spike at all, to be honest. I sometimes found that it kind of guided material into the blade better. I didn't mind it, it never bothered me in utility use, and as a weapon, I'm sure it makes it even more effective. So I would actually say, if you want the spike version, get it. You're probably going to be just as happy as with the non-spike version, because they do sell this both with and without the spike. I think if I was to have chose the micarta handle, maybe that issue of cracking would not have happened. I'm not sure, can't guarantee that. I haven't seen it or held it or anything or used it. I know the wood handle version does crack if you try to use it for splitting, which, like I said, is an issue with all full tang axes, but when I fixed it the way that I would have made it, hasn't been an issue since. So for the price, why isn't it like this to begin with? The only thing for using this thing as a fighting axe that concerns me, like I said, it's fast, it's light, it's easy to use, it gets where you need it to effectively, but this blade is about 2 inches. This spike is about 1.5 inches. Now, assuming the only people who are really ever probably going to use this are soldiers, they wear body armor, they wear heavy clothes, depending where you're fighting. You could be wearing winter coats, you could be wearing your full kit, your body armor, everything, gloves. 2 inches isn't a lot of blade when you got to go through clothing, body armor, all that stuff. 1.5 inches, even less. I question how much penetration you would actually get unless you were being quite choosy with where you stuck it. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but it feels like it could be a little bit small to do the damage that needs to be done. So overall, am I happy I bought this axe? Yes, I am. I do wish the changes that I made to it would have came from the factory for the price, and I do personally think that it is overpriced. I don't think it's worth the full price. I know they offer a military discount that may be of interest to you, and for that price, maybe it's a better deal. I don't know what the price is for military personnel. And if you're issued it, I think it's a good tool. I would think, yeah, if you want to carry it, carry it. I don't know if I would buy it again, but that's not to knock Winkler. I think if I was to buy it again for my use as a utility tool, and what I would honestly recommend, probably to most people, is to go with the Winkler Combat Axe or the Wild Bill or a different model that is more centered around utility and has the option that they've released for a partial cord wrap, where they'll wrap it from about here up in paracord, which eliminates the cracking handle issue. Also, those ones are significantly cheaper by a couple $100s than this one. I think they are the best option from Winkler knives. I don't think this one is. But I'm still happy I own it. I love it. It's beautiful. And I do use it. I think it's a very effective fighting axe from stock, and I think it's a very effective fighting and utility axe with some minor modifications. But for the price, I don't think you should have to make minor modifications. So that's my review on the Winkler Knives R&D axe. I hope you enjoyed seeing a more beat up one, someone who's done stuff to it, who's used it, and hearing my opinion on it. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day. And I hope to see you in the future. Make sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more content. I'm planning on reviewing more tools, camping stuff, equipment, along with getting back into my knife making videos. I'm excited about that. I am set up to do knife making again. I was not for a long time. Now I am. So I'm planning on doing some reviews of items like this one. I've never seen a review of this axe before, so I wanted to put one out there. At least not a review from someone who's done more than open the box. I have a couple other items that I think I want to review. I've got a Wolf and Grizzly camp stove, hopefully will be coming up soon. I want to put it through its paces a little bit more before I make that review. I'm excited about it though. I do like that product. And I'm hoping to do a lot more knife making videos in the future for those of you who subscribe for those. But I wanted to branch into doing some reviewing and stuff too and see where that goes. Hope you enjoy. Have a great day. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.